No.
Go, fucker. Maybe they're kissing one of the lips. Bet you would kiss one of the lips.
I would. So man, that's what Ariana Grande's breath smells like.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that was a lot more than I thought. And we're back with part 2.
Are you mainly a pipe smoker or
no? I like joints. I like joints. I like bongs.
I'm a bong person.
Yeah, my bong's back there, but I haven't cleaned it in a while, and I haven't dumped the water. I'm a terrible bong owner. I need to get better at that.
I love my fucking bong.
I leave my bongs on a leash. I walk around.
I've got
Pick up
stickers
after
all over. I put stickers on a lot of my laptops. My laptops are all alien. I just recently got a new laptop because mine was. I'd had it for like 4 years and it was taking forever to get shit done. It would lock up.
Right.
But I had the coolest stickers. Like I remember my favorite one was this bumper sticker I got for the Area 51 raid.
Oh
yeah. I'm here to slap some cheek. I had it on there, and because I signed up for that shit, I wasn't going, but I was going to sign up for it. You know, I got all into it.
Yeah.
But my thing was, you guys are so fucking stupid. There's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything that was there is gone. Everything that happened there, everything was sent to fucking Wright Pat.
Yeah.
It was sent to Wright Patterson.
Isn't it? I always heard that it's up in Alaska. That's the site that you want to check out. Supposedly that's where everything that we think is at Area 51.
Yeah.
But supposedly it's up in Alaska though. And there's another site actually by Area 51 that I heard that's also where they have stuff. It's not.
Yeah, it's like a little bit north of it.
Yeah, it's like I've heard that Area 51's almost become like looky here. Look at this.
Yeah,
like Fort Knox don't have gold.
Yeah,
Area 51 ain't got it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so. Well, you know, there was that Phil Schneider incident that happened in that area right north of Area 51.
Right.
He was contracted with the government to go in, and they were building these DUMBs, these deep underground military bases.
Yeah.
And they were drilling something down there. Anyway, they had this big hole, and this guy goes down, and he said all of a sudden he opens up into this cavern, and he falls in, and he said there are these aliens that are freaking out coming after him, and then these military guys come in shooting. He said he was shot in the stomach. He was shot in his hand. He said they weren't bullets. They were like green light that came out of these guns. Anyway, he's missing half his hand.
Oh, shit.
He's missing his stomach. He came out publicly with all this. Started having speeches going on about it. Well, he fucking wound up murdered. He's one of the ones, as soon as he started talking, he wound up dead.
Yeah.
And you know, there's all talk about the fact, you know, we're working with them. Anything and everything that has anything of importance is underground.
Right.
And where that the one guy that they were talking to, I think it might have been Chris Mellon, said that if you get an inkling, it might be there. If it was, it's already gone and been moved to another place.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think Alaska's got a lot. Alaska is a whole other fucking place in itself.
Alaska and Antarctica.
Yeah.
Antarctica, I feel like, has a lot of shit that we don't know about going on.
Linda Moulton Howe has got 2 guys that she does interviews with, these military guys. And they have said that they found like this huge, it's made of black basalt. And it's like this huge octagon building, and he said when you go up to it, the door's like this fucking thick, and it's huge. It's like 15 feet tall, and you can open it with one fucking finger. You just push it, and it slides open. The walls light up. They don't. There, you can't tell where the light's coming from. It's like the walls are emanating light themselves.
Yeah.
And it goes into this big. It's huge, huge, and in the very center of it is this black sun design, which was the same black sun that the Nazis had on their stuff like that. And you know, the Nazis were tried to do an expedition there a lot. Yeah. And I think they found stuff there. They had another guy that said that there was some scientists this guy was a pilot, and some scientists had went down there. Well, they had to have him go out to the site because they weren't able to get a hold of the scientists. Nobody was answering on the radios. He goes down there. There's nobody fucking there. They look around. Nobody's there. Nothing. They come back like a week later. He gets called back out there. He goes out, picks up the scientists that are there now.
Yeah.
And he said on the way back, they were like, man, you guys were missing what happened. And he said, they were all of them ghost white, like they were terrified, wouldn't talk. One of them, he said, one guy was shaking. And they wouldn't say shit. And he was told that he wasn't supposed to tell anybody about it. He was supposed to, like they do, zip your lip.
Yeah.
This never happened.
It's never, Wow.
And that was all in Antarctica. Antarctica's got some crazy shit. I think it's like they ain't the ones that built the pyramids and stuff like that. Because they say there's a pyramid in Alaska. It's supposed to be the biggest pyramid in the fucking world. But then I hear these stories, but then I have to go look a little deeper because one guy will say, I found a pyramid, and you'll go and look, and it's just like, it's fucking bushes.
Right.
I'm like, there's not shit there.
Right.
The ghost hunters just call it matrixing. Like that shit pisses me off.
What is it called? Matrixing?
I don't know. There's a
glitch.
good word for it. That's just
There's
what
a
I heard
glitch in the matrix.
They would say that whenever people would, like you think you see a face in a mirror, if it's an old mirror, and it's like finding pictures in the clouds.
Yeah. Seeing Jesus in a tortilla. For sure.
Winking at you.
Right.
He said, man can't live on bread alone.
Tell you what, this purple punch.
It's punchy.
It's very punchy.
That's why I thought it was a sativa, because I'm almost like...
Super chatty on it?
Yeah, I am. I'm feeling like chatty Cathy.
I wonder if it's like a hybrid indica.
I don't know.
Half man.
Half sativa.
Half sativa!
That's what you usually get. We usually get hybrids.
Yeah.
Man, I don't dab and stuff like that because I just cough too much. But I will say this. When I got out of that neck surgery, they fucked up getting me out of the hospital. Oh man, that was a deal in itself.
Right.
I took my own IV out, and when the nurse walked in, I was pulling the drainage tube out of my neck and saying, if you don't cut this shit off of me, I'm going to cut it off myself. One way or the other, I'm walking out this fucking door.
Oh, shit.
And, but anyway, they jacked up all my paperwork, and so the prescription I was supposed to get for pain medicine, I didn't get that prescription. They put me, like, on tramadol or so. They had to give me tramadol.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like pain medicine anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it makes me feel. I've never liked it. And, so fuck, I just Tylenol and weed. But that's what I was going to say is dabs are the only thing that you always pick, hit and miss, you never know if it's going to help or not.
Yep.
Always took away the pain.
Really?
Every time I did a dab, it was a guarantee that I was going to be pain-free for a while.
Yep. And that's kind of where I am with it. Like, I love dabs. But just at the moment, the dabs I have don't work well with my little straw that I like to use. It's
dabs that I have.
It's a crystal or whatever, like instead of like a butter or something.
Right. My old man can hit shit. Yeah, he went to they were having a little get together at one of our local dispensaries at Crystal Carnivore.
There you go. Yep.
And
shout out Dustin Woods.
Yes. I know the girls work there. I used to work with their grandma, Hannah, and her sister. Not Destiny. That's her mom. Anyway, but they were having a thing out there, and they were trying to load a big bowl, and there was this guy videoing, so they had, I forgot how much it was. Anyway, Doc was telling me, it was this big old bowl.
Yeah.
And, he took the whole thing, and they were like, whoa!
Jesus.
He took the whole thing, and he has asthma.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But he can take a huge hit. It takes me 3 or 4 to get what he gets in one.
Right. Man, I used to pride myself in taking pretty big dabs, and we'd go to that Canna Industry night every now and then, and I would, I got a pretty decent-sized dabs every time, but then we went and talked to one guy as a dab father. That man gave me a dab that damn near made me go to sleep.
He gave him a dab that he couldn't refuse.
Oh, my God. That thing was...
I gave him a dose that he couldn't.
It was really good.
Tuberculotastic.
It was the THCA. It was those crystals or whatever. And he was like, which one do you want? And I go, I want that one. Because it looks like this shit. Like that.
Yeah, now see, I get stuff like that,
Diamond
but I
flakes.
don't dab it. I just sprinkle it on my weed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'll melt it down a little bit, and then it's very nice that way.
The only thing that sucks about this is I like to use that straw or whatever. So I'll dab with that.
Oh, like a honey straw?
Mm-hmm. Well, the only problem is with these, they're so little that when it hits it and I'm inhaling, I'll just suck the whole thing in. So I don't get all of it, and it all builds up at the end of it, and then I got to clean it out. And it's just a headache.
Right.
But anyways.
I got to watching that. You ever see those videos of people taking like 1 gram dabs?
Those giant,
yeah, it's such a fucking waste of weed.
Yes, like I get why.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You ever notice I hold my nose when I smoke? This from being a broke bitch because I want to get high and I only have so much. I'm not wasting
none of it.
I am not wasting it, so I hold my nose.
I feel you on that. I understand that shit.
Oh God, I'm so glad.
So have you seen the new Dune on HBO Max? Yeah.
I have. I had the first time I ever saw Dune, I had a really bad experience. It was a really doofy guy who really probably fucking ruined it for me because now I can't watch it without reminiscing on that. It was just such a stupid guy. And he really fucked it up for me. I never could get into it.
Okay.
I know they have a new one and I want to watch it. I'll probably watch it and like it. I'll tell you, I will confess something. I just within the last 2 years watched the Star Wars movies.
Yeah?
I only knew enough about it, and now I fucking love them.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched them, and then right after that's when The Mandalorian came out.
Yeah.
And I totally got into that. Now I'm into all this other stuff and the storylines.
I heard they're about to have one that takes out the last, since, I think it was 6? I think. Or something like that.
7, 8, 9.
Something, yeah.
They're gonna retcon it. They're just gonna go back and say,
I believe
that was somebody's vision.
Ain't it?
It never happened.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm into Marvel. I love Marvel.
Yeah.
Check out new Hawkeye.
I haven't yet. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about
it's
it.
Good.
I don't
I like it.
Good.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
I did not like WandaVision.
There's people. You didn't like WandaVision?
No, I didn't like it.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't my favorite. But I gotta rewatch Loki because I remember it was good, but I don't remember anything about it. I remember just bits and pieces. But I just read, I think yesterday, people are boycotting Hawkeye.
Why?
Because the artist that created HBO is, or not HBO, Jesus, Marvel, they're basing the series for the show, or Disney. They're basing the series for the show off of this certain artist's run with Hawkeye back in the day. I mean, they compared the art. It all matches up, But
the Art Deco style.
But they're not acknowledging it. They're not acknowledging the artist. Like, they're not giving. Basically, people are like, he's not getting a check for it. What the fuck? And it's really, I don't care because it's like, whatever. I'm still gonna watch it. But I thought.
Is that it? That's it?
That was it. That was it.
Fuck them. Let them boycott it. They're not everybody.
I just watched the new one, The Legend of the Rings.
Shang-Chi.
That was badass. I liked that. I really liked that.
Yeah, I did like that.
Well, and I like how, it ties into Doctor Strange is my ultimate favorite Marvel character. He's my ultimate favorite one, and I'm so excited to see the new movie.
Right.
This is Phase 4 in the MCU.
Right. Whatever they got, I really miss the Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah.
Like, I love those. They're just heartwarming.
Yeah.
Now, and tying in with Marvel and aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
Do you think there's like entities? There's like entities out in this universe that are like, you got aliens, but then you got some things that are just greater than, like almost like a Cthulhu or like a being that just travels the stars, and I
think it's what we call angels and guardians and guides, and I think I was brought up Southern Baptist. I like to say I'm a recovering Southern Baptist, but it's just I had this epiphanical moment whenever I was in the hospital with Dale. There was a family in there. There was a Muslim family that was going through everything we were going through, and I sat and I watched that woman, and I watched her smile, cry, hug, everything I was going through, and I thought, she's the same as me.
Yeah.
You can't tell me she's going to go to hell just because she was brought up where her normal wasn't mine. You know?
Boo.
I mean, it's your normal. Someone who's brought up on the other side of the world, they're not brought up like that. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means they're different and we're not exposed to it. You know, so many people don't ever get outside the box of their own county. Yeah. They realize there's a whole fucking world. So I like to say I still believe a lot of what I was taught, but it's like I bought all the expansion packs, you know? I mean,
you got all the DLCs for it.
Yeah, and to me, like, I just think they were all different ways that those higher beings, I think they were the teachers that were sent here to try to get us on the right track, spiritual evolution wise. Yeah. But we're also half monkey. I do believe that. I think different species crossbred with things that were already here to make us. Huh. And, but I lost track of what I was saying.
Well, me and Josh were talking earlier off.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Like,
I know where you're going with this.
Where humanity is going within the next step. Like, you know, you can a trans person who's born a man can have their DNA run through a system where they create a zygote, and you could put that zygote or that
designer
babies, but you could have an artificial. They'll start printing 3D wombs so that people that were born without female parts like that can have the experience of giving birth to a child from that designer zygote.
So where do I think that's leading us?
Like okay. What does that make the child? Because basically you would be created from...
But also you're creating another form of humanity that's also going to be... you know how kids today or people are hooked to their technology and shit?
Right.
They're going to be linked up with you know...
Yeah, like, Elon Musk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's trying...
You're going to have super beings...
Right be uploaded.
Super beings with fucking Elon Musk shit on them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's my thought on that whole idea.
Eugenics.
And I'll even take it back and start it where you're in the Bible in Genesis and they're not supposed to eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I have a whole ancient alien. All my theories have ancient aliens. But anyway, you know, it's knowledge we weren't supposed to have.
Right.
Because, I think in a way, because we weren't equipped to deal with it and safely. You know? And so... Then I look at the technology we're in now, and I do not believe I have seen too much. I have read too much. I think the reason we're in such huge technology boom is because of recovered alien technology. Yes. If you read The Day After Roswell by Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso, I mean, he was the one that got handed the box that said, here, this is what we have. Find some way to make good with it, but also have them kick back research to us.
Right.
You know, and so... How
did the ship crash?
Well, that's just it. Grant Cameron talks a lot about that.
What causes the crash for the alien?
They think that, Stephen Greer talks about a weapon that sends out like a what is it?
It's like not a UAP.
No, it's a specific kind of beam of energy.
There's an actual video that shows a UFO coming into frame. It's out in space.
Electromagnetic.
Yes.
EMP?
It's EMP. I said UFO.
And they found that now this is Stephen Greer saying it, they found that whenever they aim it at these UFOs going over, it somehow jacks them up and they crash.
Yeah. Like it screws up their navigations and shit.
Yeah. But, Grant Cameron has a lot of cool fucking theory. I sent you a link one time on a book that he wrote that was about musicians that claimed that their music was from download experiences. I mean, it's everybody from fucking Kashmir by Led Zeppelin to Neil Young.
Which is the whole probably where the Soldier Soul for rock and roll thing came from.
John Lennon, a lot of them had UFO experiences, and they said that they either came to them in dreams and it's not just musicians, it's book writers. I mean, there's kind of a similar situation with I think it's J.K. Rowling that did the Harry Potter stuff. And so, just had these dreams. They have these dreams. The lady that wrote Twilight came to her in a dream. You know, a lot of things.
Yep.
Not that I think Twilight was sent by aliens to help humanity.
I really think it was. All right, Isaiah, we have to make a sponsorship ad for Anchor.
Anchor, you say?
Yes, sir.
What is this Anchor all about?
You want to make your own podcast?
Do I?
What you need to do is you need to go check out anchor.fm and sign up to make your own podcast. Let me guess. From the sound of your voice, you like fishing.
No.
What?
I just like to eat them.
Okay, well then you can make a whole podcast about all the different kinds of fish you ate. How about that? You enjoy that?
I wish I'll eat that fish.
Hey man, alright. Well guess what? You can download the free Anchor app, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started today and make your own podcast, brother.
Mister, if I had a computer, I'd jump on Anchor. Yeehaw!
I really believe I
so
think their
obsessed with that
dimension.
movie.
I believe their dimension couldn't settle Team Jacob or Team Edward. So they said, you know what, boys? Give it to the humans.
Okay.
Let them figure it out.
I mean, we're talking about aliens, the supernatural, and all this.
All right, let's go.
How could you explain, like, the idea of, like, sleep paralysis and the succubus and the incubus?
Okay. I'm so glad you asked. Okay, think about what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what Skinwalker Ranch
he
is.
doesn't know anything.
I don't know
about it.
anything.
No shit?
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
man. Okay.
I told you, Ewoks, C-3PO.
I tried to explain to him, and then he just goes blank and he just tunes
Oh,
out.
yeah, you got to check into more than just what the show shows. There's so much.
I don't even know what the show
I
is.
know.
I never seen the show.
Oh, well, dude, you got homework then.
He's got homework to do.
I thought it was Lou Diamond Phillips.
They're finding a connection between paranormal experiences, things like shadow people, poltergeists. They're finding they have a connection with UFO places, like this place, Skinwalker Ranch. Now, before it ever became a TV show or anything, it was so fucked up out there that the government paid Robert Bigelow, a government contractor, to hired men, and they had a specific amount of money given to them. Research what's going on out here, because they had cattle mutilations, they had UFOs, they had poltergeist activity, they had shadow people, they had all this crazy shit. And they're finding connections with it. Well, there's such a huge rift between the paranormal world and the UFO world. Like, neither one of them want to be associated with each other. You know, because they're... Right,
Yeah.
I know. Where the
Weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, you believe in aliens,
Exactly.
you're weird. You believe in ghosts? Nerd.
And you know, there's a weird statistic that it's something like over 2/3 of UFO abductees have had paranormal activity around them as well. Things like the poltergeist and the shadow, the Hat Man. The Hat Man's seen in a lot of times.
What's
And
a hat
so-
man?
It's basically, they say it's like this shadow person, but it looks like it's wearing a hat.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of Shadow Man stories and UFO stuff. But I think that's where I'm wondering. I remember when TTSA first came out, and they were doing the interview with Tom DeLonge, and he was talking about how they were even in talks about how it could be connected with what we would be considered angels and demons.
Yeah.
And he's saying this is what he's hearing from his contacts with the government in this group. And it makes sense to me, because well, what would an angel be? I mean, honestly, it's basically a UFO. You know, an angel is basically, and they can come in and out of dimensions because they're of a higher vibration. They're a higher form being. They can come into our place. They can leave, but they're not the only ones that can do that. And I think what people call demons, they say Now, this is my theory, but from what I'm learning and I'm gathering, it's almost like it's this other faction. You know, I said there's 3 factions they talk about. And it's this other faction that's not for us.
Yeah.
And then, like, they had that one crop circle that popped up. That it was like, I think it was the one that had a picture of an alien. And then in this corner, it had like a circle with all these little dots and dashes.
Yeah.
Well, they figured it out. It was digital code. And it said something about, we oppose deception, something else, conduit closing. You know, it's weird shit they're finding in these crop circles now. Yeah. These crop circles are communicating back, like the one that they had come back that was off of one that we sent out, trying to just see if we can get a signal back, and they sent one back to us in the form of a crop circle.
How come they don't ever like try to communicate to us through like the internet or like
something electronic?
Just pop in on us and just. Why couldn't they just take over the internet? Like, I mean...
Well, because I don't think that's their form of energy. You know, I mean... you know, what does it take to actually get internet? It takes computer connections. I mean, it's machinery and it's things like that. It's on a earth matter level.
Yeah.
You know, and this place is like... Well, and I've heard, like, especially in Dolores Cannon books, she talks about it a lot, is that we're like the only place around... that for some reason that veil is put over us. The second you're born, that veil drops and you forget what you just left. And you hear people talk about, people who have had near-death experiences talk about that. Yeah. About how as soon as you're on that other side, the veil's lifted. Yeah. But the second you're born to this, you know, some people are better, like psychics. Yeah. You know, I don't believe in all psychics. There's some bullshitters out there.
2-bit carny hit. 2-bit carny.
I believe some people are able to feel things, see things that other people can't see.
So what about the succubus and the incubus, like the sleep paralysis?
So I think they're interdimensional beings.
The demon that sits over you as you freeze.
Well, there's this...
Because I've had that before. That's the scariest shit imaginable to me. Like, is that...
Exactly. Well, there's
that thing just sitting over you. Like...
I read I think it was from Linda Moulton Howe. She was talking about someone who had that experience and whatnot. And about how... that's a different interdimensional being, what you would consider to be like a demon or something like that. But there's something about what the energy that fear creates, and they're like energy vampires or something. Yeah. You know, where they create that fear. There's even a theory about that when you get into the whole Pizzagate shit. Like, my mom has this neighbor that... Listen, I'm all about conspiracy theories, but there's some wacko shit out there.
Yeah, I agree.
And she was saying about, you know, these politicians and Hollywood people who kidnap babies and drink their blood so that they can feed off the fear that it puts... I'm like, ooh, she needs an indica so bad. You know, I mean... I think it's
But then again... what does that fear taste like? I mean...
I bet it's spicy. It's like sitting on an episode of Hot Wings. The more scared they are, that's like...
the more you sweat, the better it...
Yeah.
Whew, it's like eating the pepper, guys. That baby was full of fear.
Jesus.
Got it when it locked up.
I know.
That's fucked up.
Well,
I mean...
there's crazy theory, like perfect example. Alex fucking Jones.
Quick, I remember what I was going to say a minute ago. Real quick. Sorry. I feel like the reason why they don't broadcast on, like you said, the internet is because why would they? Why do they know the deal? I think they know why would they want to expose themselves that much?
The most recent information I've heard on the subject of why they're not communicating with us. The guy he was from Israel. He was like the head of the Israel, like, intelligence, defense, you know, things like that.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, this guy retired and basically said, well, I'm retired now. There's nothing they can do about it. Came out and said, yes, there are aliens. Yes, they have worked with our governments. The reason they don't tell us that we don't tell you about it is because they don't want us to yet.
Yeah, right.
In quotes.
Right.
That we're not capable of dealing with the knowledge that we're asking for.
Right.
Which goes back to what you were saying about, I think that's why they're not telling us. I mean, because what little bit of technology we learn from, look at this boom we've created, but look at what it did in return.
Yeah.
Because we're not thinking full circle. We're only thinking about, we can make this. But we're not thinking about, well, what happens to that when nobody else is using it?
Right.
It's completely out of balancing. And that's, they did, I think it was in that one of Phenomenon. The main message, people are saying that aliens are communicating when they're having these experiences, whether it be abductions or, just close encounters of the third kind. The messages they're getting is either stop using nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Or it's you're killing your planet.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to tell us, and I think that's why, because like Dr. Greer talked about this, the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Greer says that we have the technology they're talking about, these 0-point energy things that they talk about, where you pull energy from the ambient space around you.
Yeah.
And he would say it's a box you could have in your house, that this box not only could power enough for your house for an entire year, but for the 7 blocks around you for an entire year.
Yeah.
And he said you can't make money off of something that can
exactly.
do that.
That's it. And that's why I think a lot of this whole us not knowing anything or not hearing it is because our own government, or the cabal that runs the world, basically.
Right.
We all got to agree there's something over us. There is a shady...
Right.
There's these people that run the world.
I totally believe that. I don't know enough about it to say.
I know, right? I don't know who all it is, but I know that I cannot believe that there isn't this cabal that actually makes all the decisions, and they like they set up in that, or they said in the documentary when they were setting up how they're going to bring about aliens. Mm-hmm. They're going to bring about this, but it's going to be a fake man-made. Here we are. We have ships. We have we have big motherships. Everything you think of, we can make this happen. And you're going to believe that it's an alien invasion. What better unites the world than an alien invasion?
Yeah.
So that's
like a country singer in a stadium.
Toby Keith's going to make a song that's going to unite the entire planet.
We're the human race. We're going to stomp your face. Don't fuck with us, aliens.
We're gonna have to build the wall around the world.
Yeah.
Build the wall. Build the wall. But anyways, that's gonna unite everybody into one. We gotta be all one now.
I have a lot of people I've told. I'm like, listen, you may think I'm crazy,
right?
But if we come under alien attack, and they're saying the aliens are here to kill us, and that we've got to fight up. It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. Don't believe it.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I am actually rooting for subterranean mole men.
I'm really hoping this Hollow Earth thing is real.
I was just about to say,
I'm really hoping Hollow Earth is real.
Like, this... What? You turn that thing, planet inside out.
We're still here.
We are like the inside, not the outside.
Man.
I'm interested in the Hollow Earth theory. But there's, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, you got to think if there's alien civilizations, and us as humanity isn't that old. Like, was there other some sort of beings like a billion years ago?
Well, the Mayans say everything's going in cycles.
Yeah, I mean,
like the end of the last cycle was Atlantis.
Yeah.
And then
some sort of like ancient civilization that wasn't even ape-like human. It was like a lizard being or something.
Like you realize that how close Yosemite, or is it Yosemite? Is that the biggest super volcano? Or is it Yellowstone? Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Yellowstone. They're saying it's close to going. Like it's we're living on borrowed time. So basically, like we're due for a cataclysmic event that changes our world.
I used to think on that stuff all the time, and it to the point where it almost made me like kind of getting sick.
Yeah, I agree. I've done that too.
It would make me worry, because I think about Dale. I think about my kids.
I'll see that shit.
There's energy vampires feeding off that, though.
Yes.
When you give out that fear.
Exactly.
Here's what
in law of attraction, what you send out is exactly what the universe will reflect back to you. So I try to match what I try to watch.
I tried it. Like once I start seeing articles like that, I have to go. Nope, I can't read that because I'll get sucked into it and I'll start freaking myself out, and I got to draw myself out of it. But what I don't like now is that I feel like they're trying to control what we see. You know, of course they are. You know what I mean? Like they're only letting so many videos get out. All these people are trying to post these fake ass videos as real now, and there's so many of these Facebook sites that will be like new videos with mermaids, and it's literally that fake ass mermaid.
Well, think about that.
That Discovery Channel made.
Oh, I hate
The more people,
shit like that. But there's so many. Sorry, real quick, I'm about done.
All right.
There's so many of them now. Like they're everywhere. Every day I see all these fake ass news about real mermaids, real Sasquatch, real this, real that, and they're putting out all this fake shit, trying to get you to watch it and be like, oh, this might be real now.
To get you terrified.
Yes.
Like that, like that
And it
fucking show,
quantifies.
Paranormal Caught on Camera. That show, I love and hate that show at the same time. Because out of the entire show, they might have 2 videos that are pretty fucking compelling.
Right.
But the rest of them are total and utter bullshit. And they have these so-called experts sitting there, and they do nothing but talk for 15 minutes about bullshit.
I'm a sucker for those TV shows. Like I love.
Oh yeah, I still watch.
I love the ghost shows and I love the monster shows. I know they're all. I know about 99.99% of them are BS, but I still love to watch them because it's interesting to me.
Not all of them.
I know not all of them.
Ghost
I mean,
adventures are such fucking bullshit. Like Zach Baggins.
oh my god, that guy. Yeah. Although I was really interested in that story.
Like, if he did get demon attacked, he had it fucking coming.
For real.
You know?
For real. As much as you push that shit, like, come on, man. What do you expect's gonna happen?
But what cracks me up is how different like the difference between kindred spirits and fucking what's the one with Amy Allen and the detective where they you know what I'm talking fuck.
They talk
the Dead Files.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I knew where you're going.
At the end of Kindred Spirits, they're like, well, I think these people were just upset because they were done wrong. But I think if we set them up a nice spot and maybe write them a letter and sit down and have a memorial, that's their deal. But then you come over to Amy Allen and she's like, you need a Wiccan priest. You need a Reiki healer, and you need a Catholic exorcist, and just going on with all the stuff. So I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, I was getting back to when you were sending out like fake or news about getting people scared.
Yeah.
Just think, man, if not only one person's getting scared, but a whole bunch of people, it gives out that fear out in the universe. Like you said, law of attraction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, those entities want that fear out there.
That's why
they feed off of it. And like you said,
Pizzagate.
Right sucking the blood of fear babies or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of energy they pick up on.
Yeah.
Like I said, dark matter, whatever's out there.
Yeah.
Whatever that's
the yin and the yang. There's
exactly.
the duality of what we believe in.
The yang's
ego
winning
and
right
spirit. Now. Ego. I mean, learning the difference between those two changes.
You have to have. It's going to go both ways. That's the balance of the universe itself. Is sometimes evil wins, sometimes good wins.
Yeah.
And evil will always win because good is dumb.
Because good falls for the trap.
Yeah. Every time. Because good is gullible.
What's if you think about it? What is the actual goal of the universe? Why did the universe create itself in the first place? You know, when it went from something and it just exploded.
Right.
And if we're all a piece of that universe, so basically you're saying the universe is basically trying to experience everything.
Yeah.
And that'll get you into talking about simultaneous
singularity.
Singularities, yes.
It's not a duality, it's a singularity. The universe is.
Right.
It's neither good nor bad.
Exactly.
It's
just what it is. And it has to experience everything. And there you can go into where you talk about reincarnation, and Dolores Cannon talks about this. You might be abused in this life, and this is your abuser, but in the next life, you make contracts with people and you say, okay, well, this time you need to learn the lesson of what it's like to be the abused, and I'll help you learn that lesson and rid that karma by being your abuser. And so it'll switch in the next lifetime.
Safe word is Jolly Rancher. Jolly Rancher, your abuse is
safe word is Kentucky.
I'm thinking, I sound so fucking crazy because
no.
I've read so many books.
Yeah,
and everything.
You ever read some Sylvia Brown?
Oh.
I've read about 3 of her books. I don't know, though. I think she's legitimate, but I think maybe the popularity kind of got to her. You know, that kind of happened. You know, when you lose that core intention, you know, that intention you send out, and that it has nothing to do with what you want. It's more about your legacy. What do I want to leave behind? What is my intention in doing this? Right. And I think when you start making money and you start getting big, kind of switches you around a little bit. And I think she got a little... But her theories are... I loved listening to what she thought her description of heaven was. But I don't think... You ever knew that movie, What Dreams May Come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how we create our own. And that's really true. Like, I think... a lot of the NDEs and stuff that they talk about, they all sound different, but they all have the same message. And so, I don't know enough to say I can know, but it's really fucking interesting, and it keeps me highly entertained.
I just think what if your mind's conscious thought, the last thing you think about is what you get stuck in, and it could be your heaven, your hell, whatever. That's what it really is, and then that just goes off into space. It's your conscious leaving your body when you die, and you just get stuck in that one.
I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in hell.
That's what I'm saying. It's not really heaven or hell. It's
right.
It's basically a dream. I think
this is hell.
Because your brain gets flooded with DMT, basically, whenever you're about to die.
Yeah.
So basically, if you think about it, what you have out of body experiences on DMT, you know, like you see a different plane of existence on DMT. So what if when your brain gets flooded with that DMT, it makes you
yeah, it's a modality.
Yeah.
Frank Cameron talks about that, different modalities. Having a near-death experience is a modality to get that connection with that core.
Right.
Mushrooms, DMT, ayahuasca, that's another modality you can use to get there. There's monks, but you have to spend your whole fucking life learning how to meditate like that.
Yeah.
But there is a way to meditate that's Kundalini, where you can also have that connection without help from other things.
Right.
Personally, I wouldn't mind a little help, but I get by with a little help. Yes. But yeah, I think that's why I don't put too much stock into about what's going to happen here,
right?
Because I think here it's like Dolores Cannon says, everybody when they get over there, when she takes them through the death and then she brings them to that space in between lives. She said everyone says the same thing. They said it was like a play. It was like a play.
Yeah.
You know, she talks about background people, where people that you don't really know that are just in the background, they don't really exist. Nothing exists until we are in that space and need it. So, if you guys gotta go to Walmart, Walmart doesn't even fucking exist. And it's matrixy a little bit, you know?
Nothing outside that door right now until we need to walk out that door.
Nothing. Yeah.
And what if there is glitches, and that's why you run into trains and shit? Because that reality hasn't loaded up yet.
Man, I'm sorry, but Berenstain fucking Bears were the Berenstain fucking Bears.
Yep, facts.
And not Berenstain. And I remember the movie. Yes. I remember the Shazam. I do.
Yep.
I really, it's like 3 or 4 of those. So I think it's interesting.
Are they legit saying Shaq never played?
That's what they say. They say it never happened, and I heard.
It's Shazam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that. They're
trying to say Sinbad was a...
Yeah, Sinbad.
There was a genie movie with
Sinbad.
There is no genie movie with Sinbad.
It was so... Yeah, it was crazy.
It's called House Guest.
But there's stories like Linda Moulton.
He was a genie, and he lived at the guy's house. He was house guest, and he was low key.
All right,
he was low key a genie.
All right, I'll give you that one.
And
Isaiah thinks that shit's just
people's shitty memories.
Shitty memories.
I was like, motherfuckers got shitty memories.
No, that's not really that far off. I mean, that is very interesting because there's kids who they interviewed a couple years ago that were in New York City on 9/11. And one little girl said she remembered seeing the smoke through the school window and she remembered seeing the smoke coming in on the water. But then when they took her back to that classroom later on, you couldn't see that view from that window. So it never happened. But that was her memory of it. And they're saying it was because we were all so enwrapped with the videos of the smoke rolling in and this and that. They say that we all, you remold your memories.
Yeah.
Because it went through so much trauma. The system got shocked.
Your brain said,
your brain don't know.
Two people remember the same thing in completely different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting because it's your brain trying to figure out how to fucking use a filing system up there, And it's like there's a little guy. Fuck, I don't know where to put this. Was this right? I think I might have made it. It was a typo.
Well, you got to think like the Industrial Revolution and everything. Since then, like humanity was in the fucking. Didn't have fucking electricity and shit.
Right.
And all of a sudden you see a leap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That leap of, oh my God, and then your sensory overload.
But think about this. Maybe it wasn't the best thing for us to get that technology because we were not morally evolved enough to handle that technology well.
Yeah.
And going back to the 0 point energy things that Greer says that are out there. The other thing about it is that in order to get that technology, there's a way that you can weaponize it, and it make Hiroshima look like a like a snapper at 4th of July, Yeah.
Oh, you guys keep going.
So I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my foot, but I didn't know what to do. My brain didn't communicate that into my body yet.
Well, I think it's at we're still a type 0. We're type 0 civilization.
Yeah, like Michio Kaku.
Yeah.
Or however the fuck you say his name. Where's your lighter?
Oh,
there it is. That's exactly what I think.
We are not that point in the civilization that we're supposed we're still type 0.
I think quantum physics and string theory is what's going to bring us into that, though. Because that is the stuff you can't prove in a science lab. And the fact that the stigma is falling away and people are actually doing real fucking research and, doing experiments that they can have repeatable results, and I'm game for that. I want, when it comes to UFO stories and things like that, if it's either just a story that's just something interesting to hear, or it's got something to back it up. And that's the stuff that I really get interested in, is the stuff you can back up with science or government documents and things like that, Richard Dolan is like an encyclopedia for that stuff. Grant Cameron. What's that one guy? He was the first UFO lobbyist in Washington. Dang it. Stephen Bassett. And he's done some videos. See, I was home all the time and I had nothing to do.
Now,
and I get sucked into them.
Now, it's the Egyptians. The pyramids.
Uh-huh.
Is that I don't know, what the ancient aliens... ancient alien theorists believe.
I think the pyramids were there before the Egyptians.
Yeah, they were there.
And I think
they discovered it. Yeah.
I think the Sphinx the Sphinx was made from something, like they carved that head. That head's too small. You know what I mean? Like there was something else there, and they carved it into the pharaoh head shape and whatnot. Humans imitating gods. Try kind of. But yeah, I think all that was there before, because I think that tied back into the time of the Atlanteans. Like when you get into Easter Island and you start looking at those, and they have those big, huge, the face stones that would face out. Well, what they say is Egypt, Easter Island, places like that were from survivors from the catastrophe that happened in Atlantis. And they were able to, where they landed, they tried to spread a little bit of the knowledge. But I think that other shit was there. I think it was there before.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
We're talking about ancient alien theorists.
Yes.
Ancient aliens.
Did you ever watch that Action Bronson watches Ancient Aliens?
Yes,
I did.
I fucking loved that.
Oh, this guy he had a suit and he moved around and he played like guitar shit.
I want a bud tender. Like,
I know it's going to get colder.
That'd be
I'm sorry,
badass to
guys.
have a bud tender. I know I'm smoking it up.
Oh, you're fine. No, I'm about to join you. Oh, should I tell my story about what happened today? It's not a alien story, but I'll tell you why.
Puff it up and
So
let it fly.
I mean, if you guys are in the middle of something, I can wait.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, man.
I'm gonna go.
So it's Isaiah's birthday. Happy birthday!
That's awesome.
As he goes to pee. So I'm going. He wants to go eat at Clicks in Pawnee. So I was like, all right, I'll be there. 11 o'clock. I get in my car. I thought I heard somebody yell my name, and I looked down this way to look at my neighbors, and I thought I saw somebody trying to talk to me, but then they just ducked back and went back inside. And I'm like, whatever. Get in my car, start it up, find some music to put on, and this dude walks up to my window, knocks on it. I'm like, what's up? And he goes, hey man, do you got to smoke? And I'm like, nah man, I don't smoke. He goes, hey, could I catch a ride to Central, which is just down the road? And I'm like, oh, you mean down the street? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, sure, hop in. And so he goes to get in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just about to go to Pawnee to go see my buddy for his birthday. And he's like, hey, well, could I ride to Pawnee with you? And I'm like, okay.
You're like me. We can't say no.
Right?
Everything inside says to say no, but our brain's like, sure.
It was this dude that he told me his uncle was being all fucked up to him and he was trying to get out of there and something like that. And I'm like, I kind of felt bad for him, you know? I'm like, fuck it, all right, get in. So,
because you have empathy and shit.
So we get down the road, and he hits me up for a cigarette again. And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't got a cigarette. And I had my Juul, but I didn't have an actual Juul pod. I pop them open, I fill them up myself, but I'm out of juice. All I have is 0 nicotine juice right now, so it's all placebo for me. It's not. I'm not getting nicotine. I'm just getting the effect of smoking now. And I told him, because he goes, oh well, first after I told him I didn't smoke, I didn't have cigarettes. I go, we get on the highway, and I'm like, do you smoke weed? He's like, yeah, I smoke weed. Why, you got some? And I'm like, it's like, nah, man, I ain't got nothing to smoke. I was like, and I opened my drawer up, and I go, you can have this. And I gave him the last of my wax. Because I was like, you know what? He must be going through something right now. I'm gonna give this to him, you know. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. And so, anyways, he ended up having one cigarette on him. I gave him a lighter. I gave him my lighter, my only lighter in the car. I didn't realize at the time. Gave him my lighter, and he just starts smoking. He didn't even ask if he could smoke it in the car. He just lights it up, and then he wasn't going to roll the window down. And I'm just like, roll the window down. I'm like, you're welcome. And then I didn't realize this until after I got back in my car. Motherfucker ashed in my seats and in my floorboard. And I'm like, you motherfucker. Now, I think this now. But at the time, he's smoking, throws it out. And he gets done, throws it out. We get down the road and he goes, can I hit that Juul? And I'm like,
fuck you.
At first, that's exactly what I thought. And then in my head, I go, well, I told him, I was like, it's 0 nicotine, man, and it ain't even a real Juul pod, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, in my head, I'm like, I have another one in the console, and I brought my juice. I'll just fill that up later. I was like, you know what, man? Here, you must need this. Hit this. And he just... Like, you're not even supposed to hit a Juul like that. Like, Juuls are just like smoking a cigarette. You just, little puff, blow it out.
Right.
You enjoy it. This motherfucker's hitting it like a goddamn freight train the whole way from right outside of fucking, what's this place out here? White Eagle. Right outside of White Eagle, all the way to Pawnee. He tries to give it back to me one time. He gives it back to me. I take it, and it's hot as fuck, for one.
Right?
I go, just put it in my other hand, put it in my pocket, and he goes, "Hey, can I finish hitting that?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I ain't got nothing in it, bro." Like I was like, "I'm broke, man. I ain't got no juice. I got nothing, dude." And he's like, "Oh."
Right, I'll pound.
And I'm like, "Man, fuck. Here, dude, just go ahead and finish it off." By the time I got to Pawnee, I'm driving up Main Street. I see Clicks right there. Well, I told him, I was like, when I get to Pawnee, I'm going to stop at Clicks. Are you cool stopping there? Yeah, you're there. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Well, I kind of went up Main Street. I was like, maybe he wants to go. I'll take him a little further, like maybe somewhere in town. And I'm like, is there anywhere specific you want to go? And he's like, is this Talkwall? I was like, no, this is Pawnee. He's like, where I told you I was going. He's like, I thought you were going to take me to a quick trip. I said, oh, you want to go to a gas station? Okay. So I turn around, I go back to that Arrowhead gas station. And then he's like, this ain't a quick trip. And I'm like, I didn't say a quick trip.
Like, I ain't a magic genie, motherfucker.
I said, I'm going to Clicks, and you can get out there. And then this motherfucker tried to get out with my jewel. And I'm like, hey, bro, I need that jewel. And he just tossed it back in my seat. And I go, all right. And he shuts my door, and I grab it, and I open it up, and this bitch is bone dry. I just filled it up to the brim before I left. Bone fucking dry. I toss it in my seat and roll the window down. He's just walking off. I go, hey man, not even a thank you? And he just keeps his back to me and he walks around the corner. I go, alright, fuck you too then. Don't ever ask me for a ride. Just roll the window up and just fucking drove off just mad as fuck. You know what? Fuck this shit. I went inside of I was gonna buy a 2-pack of Jewel Pods. They didn't have Jewel Pods. They was like, fuck it, give me a pack of cigarettes. Fucking bought a pack of Camels, went next door, went across the street to Clicks, smoked like 3 cigarettes just sitting right there like,
that
fuck this motherfucker.
Smoke again.
And then I seen him pacing back and forth around. I was like, come on, you see me now, don't you? Enjoying myself. Fuck you. I'm so upset. I'm trying to put some good fucking karma on the air. Help some dude out.
I don't get too riled up about shit like that anymore. Because I'm like, you know what? You're making your own bad karma. I'm just going to keep my happy little karma going.
I should point out now, I was just getting worked up for the story, but I'm over it now.
Right.
At the time, I was like, man, that's pretty fucked up. This dude's going, oh shit, I didn't realize we're still using that.
Right? How dare you?
I was like, that's pretty fucked up. This guy just, not even a thank you. Like, come on, man. Like, at least say thanks. I might have thought about giving you a ride back.
What happened to him that made him that way? I constantly worry that.
Here's where I turned it around and I started thinking the other direction. We were with his sister, and she's like, "What if he thought you said the quick trip down the street?" So when you got on that, because the man literally rode with his hands like this almost the whole time. It was weird. Like he had him not touching like this, just like this. Like, almost like showing me, like, I ain't doing nothing, I ain't got nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I gave him that wax, and he had a hair tie around his hand, he just flipped it under his hair tie and just went like this. And then until he got the jewel, then he fucking doing this shit. But then he started putting his hands in his pocket like this and shit, and I'm like, okay.
Did you just come from a drive-by?
I don't have a gun. I don't like putting it out there, but I don't own a gun. But I was just like, reaching for that seat. Like
I'll blast it.
Looking for something. Oh yeah. No, please believe if I had one and something happened, I would.
I got it for the Second Amendment, motherfuckers.
But it just turned out, man. I started thinking, like, what if this dude was just, he's just having a fucking bad time, like. Hopefully, I helped him out enough to get him somewhere where he can go find. It looked like he didn't know where the fuck he was.
Well, obviously, Pawnee and Tahlequah are 100 miles difference. Maybe more. I don't know. Shit.
I don't know, man.
I used to be so bad at picking up hitchhikers. I wouldn't do it when I had anybody with me.
Yeah.
Because I always had
What if the guy was an alien?
Right? Because he didn't talk at all. Like he even when I tried to make direct contact. Even when I tried to directly like start like, hey man, how you doing or something like that, he's like straight. I'm like, oh, cool. We're not gonna talk. Go hit that jewel. What? Word? All right. Go ahead.
Also, he's an antisocial native dude. It sounds like I'm a rugged guy. You gave a rugged guy.
I did. But
you gave a rugged guy a ride to Pawnee.
That's someone who's figured out the system.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is. And oh well, I wish him the best. I hope he.
You made good karma from it.
I hope so. I think I did though. I think I did because
Because your core intention behind it was doing something to help someone out.
Exactly.
So
but we also got this podcast out of it too. because that's kind of what sparked me to be like, you know what, man, like, what do you do? I asked him, like, what are you doing today? And he's like, I don't know. Let's do a podcast. I'll see if Joe wants to come over. And there we go. Hey. All because I was like, man, fuck this guy. I want to do something fun.
Hey, my dad said, like, that should be your thing for your podcast.
Yeah.
Is a story. Like,
yeah.
And you don't rush anybody at a salad bar. Right. You don't rush a person at a salad bar. You ain't gonna rush me, are you?
It clicks like maybe twice. It's been a long damn time. We had a Head Start meeting there one year.
It's really fancy looking. I forgot what it looked like inside. It's really nice.
Is that Coach still there? Isn't that his place that he owned? Or I don't know if he sold it. I
have no idea.
He was a coach at the high school when I first moved to Fairfax.
Man, this has been fucking fun.
It was.
Well, how much time we got left?
We got 20 seconds left.
No, we got a whole minute.
Oh shit! Well, then I can't. So Buck and Flamingo.
Yeah.
Buck and Flamingo.
Buck and Flamingo. I like the seats up front of it. The
Aren't
butts.
those nice? The horse's ass is my favorite.
I like them.
I like make my husband sit in it.
Well, Joe, man, we appreciate the paintings.
Yes,
that was awesome.
Oh my God, those were so cool.
When he said it was your birthday, I thought, man, I can't go empty-handed, and I knew I'd been wanting to bring that marijuana bud one up here. So
I remember you sending me that picture in a message. You're like, check this out. Like, that's fucking cool.
I
just remembered that.
I got to get some more watercolor paper.
Man, I'll definitely post pictures.
So
CES
is the Facebook group that you're.
Oh yeah,
my
CE5.
Tallgrass CE5.
Yes,
CE5.
Yes, I'm wanting to get a group together to start going out and trying to do some CE5 and see what we can see. Yeah. And I'm not one of those ones like we have to listen to the right tones.
Yeah.
And we have to do the right Kundalini meditation. I'm like, as long as we can make a connection. It worked for me, man. It worked for me, and it surprised the shit out of me because I didn't think nothing was going to happen.
Well, hell yeah. All right, well, thank you for coming on again.
I love you guys.
We love you too.
I always think.
Wow. No.